Well, I need to apologize in advance for being sick. I've been bedridden for about a week and not in the good way. White opens with, "Your hair is wondrously gorgeous, but how big are your tits?" Going straight into their pathetic attempt at Riz with a mistake. Everyone knows that you should never compliment the body too soon, and it's a D1 Gooner move, especially before asking for the opponent's age. Black responds with, "Thank you so much, and I'm so you kinda weird, capitalizing off White's mistake and showing them how important age verification is. This excellent move captures a valuable piece from White and punishes the opponent well. You have to respect it. I know there's a hot ass body connected to that hair. White folds under absolutely zero pressure and doubles down on their creepy antics despite being completely aware of their age. It's honestly enough evidence to hand out a criminal move, and you just know this is going to be a good video. Well, I guess bad depending on, who you are. Black asks, "How old are you?" raising something that we all need to know because we haven't even been told that yet. Who knows, maybe I gave White the weirdo tag way too soon. Black plays a great move by trying to get this information out of their opponent. 39. Yes, I am officially doubling down on everything I've said about White so far. This guy high-key deserves to be put behind bars, and anyone who disagrees with me respectfully deserves the same fate too. Actually, not respectfully, that respect. I'm grading this a crazy blunder as it throws the game and gives White a chance to give their checkmate attack. Fortunately, they take it and hit back with, "You're weird, I'm for," pushing back against White in a brilliant move from Black. This begins the checkmate attack, and they were definitely in attendance for their internet safety classes, and the teacher needs a raise. White hits back with, "But you're not stupid. People can be 30 and dumb as hell, and I don't know what bro's trying to get onto. If this is somewhere where you're justifying that age is just a number, I am making sure they get checkmated within the next few moves. For now, this is just a good move though, because who knows where it could go." Just as curious as me, Black asks, "Okay, what's your point?" praying further and further to try and get some English out of their opponent. Black plays a great move here, trying to make White play something like a blunder by setting up a very tempting trap. Whether White falls for it or not though, only time will tell. White simply replies with, "Age doesn't matter," which is a blunder that makes the game literally impossible to recover from. I am the admin of this rodeo, and I have now made it my life goal to make sure White's elo plummets to the negatives. I'm not even gonna ban bro, I'm gonna make him suffer loss after loss after loss until he eventually decides to quit the game on his own terms. Yeah, it does, I'm creepy pet. Finally, the word that I was too scared to drop has finally come from this game. Black comes out with a brilliant move, giving White the label you and I both know our White player deserves. They can deny it all they want, but there's enough evidence for us from this game alone. Who knows how many other Gambits they have played. White claims your loss, but there's absolutely no loss on Black's end here. The only thing they're going to walk out of this game without that they started with is their innocence, and this isn't something you can steal with pride. Definitely an inaccuracy from White because it just isn't true. Black closes with, "Okay, skull emoji, it seems like you're lost considering you wanted this," stating the obvious in a good move, but sometimes the obvious is exactly what is needed to complete a checkmate on an opponent. This is for sure an example of that, and Black walks away with the added elo as a result. Next, White starts us off with, "LOL, what game? Sugar cubes?" clearly starting us in the mid game rather than the opening. Based on the knowledge that we have, which is absolutely nothing, I'm gonna give this a book move and move on. Black hits back with, "Unison League. It's a stupid anime RPG, but hey, it's fun. Also, why are you calling me Sugar Cubes? Holy shit, I'm an actual dumbass. I thought Sugar Cubes was the name of the game and White was asking about it, not a pet name." All of this makes so much more sense now, and Black plays a miss by not understanding. There's no way he doesn't know that it's Riz, considering he knows it's a nickname. White defends their pet name by replying, "Why not, love? You really are adorable," giving some perfect romance and a great move. It's wholesome, it isn't creepy, and it's enough to make any man smile, so there's literally nothing I can complain about with the setup of this game. Apparently, I can't say the same for Black though. You don't even know what I look like. Black plays a curveball into the mix because all forms of Riz automatically become creepy if you don't know who they are. I'm starting to see White as the bad guy, and it's because of Black's parry move that I was able to come to this natural conclusion. In desperation to provide some sort of defense, White plays adorable is not a physical attribute, could be, but usually it's behavior, and "you are adorable, I love your texts." For some reason, they make me smile, and no matter how much I try to dislike White, it isn't possible. I can't see a single multiverse where they have any creepy intentions, and Black would be stupid to not accept this woman's love. Her move was definitely an excellent move, and I hope she knows I'm always available and would be way miles better at Unison League than the Gooner being Black. Next, "Slurp you up, my belly getting huge while you slosh around in my stomach, stretching it out. What would you do then? Answer me." Okay, what the actual have I just read? I can only thank the screenshotter for cutting the first message short because I can tell there were definitely a lot more lines before those two. White opens with an outrageous move using a forbidden word in text chest raise within their first move of a pawn. Black commands, dude, get the fuck out of my DMs, and as much as I want to praise this move, it isn't wrong, it's principle. I can't. It's a miss because there were just so many better moves on the table, with the best move being a very accessible block button. I don't get girls who beg guys to leave their DMs when all they have to do is tap the one big red button. It exists for a reason, it's not just something to look at. In our asterisks, White responds with, I rub my belly sloshing around with someone inside, and then outside the asterisks they add, maybe that would convince you. What the hell, man? I need to go out and just throw up real quick because this shit is not for the weak. I can vividly picture this player tipping their fedora after saying this, and for that reason alone, it has to go down as a blunder. Go back to the kittens on Discord because the streets are not for you. Black hits back with, ma'am, I do not want to be involved in your weird ass vor RP. Please just leave, using their manners but also holding firm ground. It's a good method when dealing with an opponent like this, but you shouldn't be usually way more aggressive with it, making this an inaccuracy. Politeness does not count to sex role players. In asterisk, White replies, my belly gurgles as I open my may, swallowing your head as I start to swallow you, and then out of asterisk, you must be so tasty. After being politely asked to pack their bags and leave, Black has tripled down on their creepy shit. The blunder cannot be excused for it, and it might be time to get a restraining order. Black does the next best thing and responds with, blocked, stop trying to RP with kids, playing the best move, which most girls are too scared to play for some reason. If anyone has felt lost when playing a game like this, just remember the existence of this button for the love of God. Next, Are You Busy Now is White's basic opponent, but it's basic for a reason and a popular book move. It sets up follow-up moves perfectly and starts a conversation softly, so yeah, I only have praise for it. Black steps back and states, I'm how old are you? In another book move. Make sure the ages both you and your opponent legally match is very opponent for winning games of text chess without getting banned, and as a minor, Black does a very good job of alerting their opponent before things get too late. They win the game with sportsmanship. White replies with, I'm 10 years older than you, I'm 26, I can tell you a secret, setting themselves up for failure like a dumbass. The best move was obviously to abort the game, but instead they thought it would be a good idea to send a suggestive text. Either bro wants to go to jail to have some fun dropping the soap, or they're an outright nonce. Blunder. Naturally wanting to know the secret, Black asks, what is the secret, egging their opponent on in a move which can only be described as 4D chess. To us, there has never been a more obvious trap, but White is obviously desperate enough to give Black the creepy answer they want to get the legal people involved. Traps can never get above a great move because of the chance of failure, but this one is a great one. I like you and I thought I want it, but I see that you won't be able to. 3 sad emojis. I hope I don't tell anyone if, please, but at least I would like to know something about you. Holy blunder. White literally told themselves that their opponent is not allowed to have any love interest back, but instead of thinking to back away, they instead to make this vocal. It concerns me so much how much these PDF files come to their conclusion, but at least we get some entertainment, I guess. Black then claims, I am not going to tell anyone. What do you want to know about me? Giving us back-to-back blunders in a situation where there were so many ways to get the checkmate. In my entire time making text chess videos, I don't think I've ever seen a worse move than this. The win wasn't even on a silver platter, it was on several golden platters, but Black still fumbled and gave White a chance. White replies, okay, in a boring move. There isn't really much to say, but considering the performance Black gave in the endgame, the win unfortunately goes to the villain. Next, White asks, are you fine with questions? And while this is weird as you have to give them credit for asking before acting. There are a lot of text chess players who would not do this and would dive in there like a moth flying towards light, or I guess darkness. Good move. Black gives a one-word answer with no, making their opinions clear and holding up a massive red sign for their opponent. Now, if White had any respect for Black, they would abort the game immediately, but something tells me this is not going to be the case. Good move. White ignores Black's move entirely and asks, when did you last miss? Oh, all the time. No, for real though, this miss treats Black's defense like a worthless piece of shit and crushes it immediately. For ethical reasons alone, this is a mistake and hopefully Black doubles down on fighting against it. Go to hell is Black's response, and it goes down as an excellent move because it delivers. The best thing to call it is, you guessed it, and sometimes being called it gives them a reality check. Unfortunately, this is not the case here, and we're in for a real match. White plays, dropping a one-word insult that's more cliche than talking about the weather and a mistake. Calling someone a doesn't provide any sort of tactical edge and only embarrasses you and damages the elo next to your name. It's a loss on both fronts, making white look weaker than the Nazis towards the end of 1945. Choosing to let their mouth run back, black calls their opponent a stinking little shit, which is far more original than casually using the word. This clearly isn't black's first rodeo, and they are a seasoned veteran in the insulting industry. I'm not sure that this is a title I'd want, but it's definitely a title nonetheless. Great move. White hits back with your is take a shower, pulling an Uno reverse, but the most unkept one in existence. You can't just steal someone's smell insult and add a little twist on it expecting nobody to notice. It's such an obvious inaccuracy. Mirroring an opponent's move is never cool and almost never works with this instance, just leaving more room for black to attack back. There are all sorts of gaps in white's defense now, and they look easy to penetrate, although they probably want to be penetrated. Yeah, that's why you're asking questions like that, right? Disgusting piece of fuck. Anyone who thinks of you would feel sick. Black goes all in on white this time with a brilliant move capturing the queen and getting close to checkmate. They raise a very good point in the start because why would white want their masturbation routine if it smelled? Just another flaw of many in white's play. White tries to counter with, anyone who smells your will be sick, take a shower, and I think there's an echo in the room. Bro tried to recycle their last inaccuracy and thought it wouldn't instantly turn into a blunder. I get reusing a good method, but reusing a move that literally got graded in inaccuracy, the next move, is pure stupidity. Asshole 50-year-old fat lonely man sitting alone texting minors is black's win of a response. This excellent move delivers a checkmate and sends a massive creep back into lovies with people of a lower elo and hopefully not of a lower age. Next, hi pretty last, how you're doing? Mind if I talk to you for a while? I find you attractive, heart eyes emoji. Can you give a try with being my online companion? White plays the NPC Gambit because what real person asks to be an online companion rather than, a friend? This shit sounds straight out of Roblox and should stay there. Mistake. Black states, I don't like men, which is completely valid. I do. Don't, obviously, but I can relate. For real though, there isn't anything bad that can be said about this good move, but of course, white is gonna find a way. Why are you wasting your nutrient? You need to be by a man. Even if she was into men, this statement alone from white would turn her gay. I wouldn't be surprised if a few girls watching this video have found their change in their sexual identity by now, because it would make total sense. These men are a social experiment and have managed to conjure up another blunder. Black replies with "this is why" and using a pointing up emoji, turning white into a case study rather than a person in a brilliant move because it's exactly what they should be. Animal testing, we should just round up the people from text chess videos and experiment on them instead. I'm convinced we're meeting messages from a different species. Wow, interesting. I also get that feeling in my Discord, except the species is the best species on the planet and you should join them. You can literally submit images for my videos. Who wouldn't want to appear in a text chess vid? Next, white greets their opponent with, good afternoon, we are 32 bottom and 47 ROP in Indiana looking for a free use houseboy slave. We understand you are 17, but that's close enough for us, laughing emoji. We are willing to drive and pick up, just say the word. Ready to take 9-inch BBC in your tight Mexican Just say the word. I have no idea what the word is, but I very much hope it isn't pre-established. To me, this seems like outright kidnapping, and for obvious reason, turning a 17-year-old boy into a slave definitely isn't the right thing. Well, making anyone a slave isn't the right thing, but I think you get the point. Outrageous move. Black hits back with, you a grown-ass man. You're gonna burn in hell. What the f*** is the matter with you? Asking the obvious and letting white know what a sick f*** they are. This great move puts black in a nice position to make some more attacks and force their opponent to defend. Instead of taking the bait and defending though, white decides to leave their piece up for their taking and replies with, go back to you are country then. I'm gonna pretend they didn't make a grammar mistake just to avoid crashing out, but trust me, I'm close. Casual racism comes out here from white, which just isn't cool and is a blunder. Someone being Mexican is an excuse for wanting to kidnap them and turn them into a literal slave. If anything, it sounds like white is a big fan of the Mexican race. I carumba is black's response, and I could pretend to have aura and understand, but I use Google Translate for this. Apparently carumba can be used to express mild anger, and I'm not sure about you, but I'd be mildly angry about this too. However, this move is a miss just because there was a big opportunity to rip into the opponent's defense, but instead black just sits in shock. Next, white kicks us off the next game with LOL. I'm curious about what your nipples look like after using the nipple suckers, and I'm not gonna lie, I do not 100% would not make that clear to my opponent. It's creepy and leaves your defenses wide open for black to make an attack, which this player takes in a book move. Black asks, bro, what? Dude, you're a child, go away. clearly in shock that a literal child would DM them with such a devious question. My main concern is, how does the child know Black uses them? My inner dokes is coming out here because Black is a suspicious man in my eyes. For now though, I'll grade this a good move for doing the bare minimum. In a bold claim, White says, "We're the same age, lol, and something about me doesn't believe this. I'm a man of many generations though, and will be giving White the benefit of the doubt. They're still weird for being into that regardless of the age dynamic though, and this is a mistake for clearly trying to up their chances of getting a glimpse. Such a weird. Who the hell would have that? You would never catch me dead with it. Never. Good thing I'm alive." Black is still cautious about the age and asks, "Then why the f are you in the teenage subreddit?" Throwing out a brilliant move in the form of a double-edged sword. If White is actually of age, then they can be painted as a weirdo for being in a Reddit server full of people who are obviously underage. If they are underage, then they're not allowed to see any of those pictures. It's an L no matter the way you look at it for White, and Black is an incredible player for spotting this opportunity. "Cause I just turned 20, crying emoji." White gives the only option to escape the double-edged sword with a forced move that just about gets them out of the check. They really should have left the community now that they're 20, but as far as the rulebook holds up, that is good enough an excuse to let White off the hook. Despite this, Black plays, "Yeah, no, I'm not showing you my nips," giving no reason and making it clear that no matter the age of White, those are staying a secret for eternity. Me personally, I wouldn't shy away from showing another dude my nips, but who am I to judge someone else's preferences? Black plays a good move by making their preferences perfectly clear. That's fine, you just seem pretty open about your sex life. Luckily for Black, White plays the best move and is accepting of their distastes for showing their nipples to people on Reddit. At least they were at 7:15 a.m. Just 40 minutes later, at 7:54 a.m., they follow up with, "Do you like hung guys though?" moving away from the whole nipple gimmick and changing things to get even more private parts out of their bodies. For you viewers who are lucky enough to not know what a hung guy is, it's basically someone with a massive Something tells me that Black isn't hung, so I don't know why they're asking this because they're bound to be exposed for this inaccuracy eventually. What? White makes their confusion clear and gives Black the opportunity to expand, which is always going to be a blunder. I don't know why you'd want to hear more words from a player like this, and the best move would have definitely been resigning or, blocking, but some minds are a little bit too curious, I guess. Black asks, "You don't know what hung means?" acting like it's some sort of shameful thing to not know what it means, when in reality, I had to pull Google out. Yeah, I know it's surprising that I know everything, but even geniuses can be uneducated on niche topics like gay sex. Going back to the actual move, it's a mistake from Black because it just makes zero sense. Surprisingly, White did know what hung meant all along and replies with, "No, I'm confused on why you're asking that question, wasting even more of their time with a miss when it should be getting spent on an entirely different game." The reason why Black is asking is obvious. They're a strange man, and the fact that White hasn't moved on from the game and accepted that yet is low-genuinely crazy. In fairness to Black, they say, "Cause I'm curious," and at least they are honest. They're not trying to cover this weird shit up with any cover stories or anything, just straight honesty with a good move. Well, I guess not straight. This should be the biggest sign yet for White to quit the game though, because Black is so confident in their mission that I'm actually starting to think they're gonna win the game. Who would have known that the nipple enjoyer would turn into a favorite to win before the end game? I don't feel comfortable sharing that. Black stands their ground and refuses to answer the question with an excellent move. This shuts down Black's current attack and gives them the option to either leave or face the wrath that we haven't seen from Black yet. That's assuming they do have any more attacking moves in their locker, but for the sake of the plot, let's assume they do. Instead of defending with an answer, White decides to stick to their true self and explains, "I'm asking if you like this, basically," and just straight up sends a picture of their cock. Assuming they're actually 20, I'm happy to be sent this picture by Black for research purposes. As a manager of these games, it's important to see the bigger picture, For real though, this can only be given a blunder because there was absolutely no reason to do this. You're just asking for a prison sentence at this point. Black replies with, "Dude, not cool," which is a very toned down way of putting things. Not cool is way too chill about it, and I'm suspicious that Black might be more grateful for this picture after they're making out this mistake. The best move would have been to insult, which is much more likely a chode, and this is a missed opportunity if I've ever seen one. Well, not seen, it is blurred. Throwing one last curveball into the mix, White asks, "Do you like it then?" Sad emoji, basically trapping themselves. Black already said it wasn't cool, so there's no way they're magically just gonna say they liked it, huh? White is hoping for a miracle, but miracles don't happen in tech chess, and Christmas is over, making this a big mistake. Black closes with a cliffhanger, and yeah, no. And I guess we'll never know truly which one their answer was. It's a question that will unfortunately never be answered, and hopefully the next game will take it off our minds. Next, lady in the streets for men and slut bitch in the sheets. This isn't the most normal way to greet your opponent, but White decides to do it anyway, and while I respect the confidence, I definitely don't respect the mistake in itself. From the way it's typed to the actual words themselves, this move is just annoying. Black asks, "Why are you yelling that?" in a valid effort to understand that White is even trying to achieve by saying this. Good move. Right now, the opponent's move appears meaningless, but surely Black has some sort of objective from it. Black does well by trying to understand this. In defense, White explains, "I'm not yelling, it's just an aggressive tone of voice." But you can't just type your messages fully capitalized and expect to not be accused of yelling. White seems like your average alcoholic husband whose wife is desperately trying to leave him and he's online trying to find a fallback wife. This inaccuracy fails to identify the nature of their own previous move and just makes them look like a dumbass. Black points this out and says, "It makes you look like an idiot, and an excellent move, putting White in their place and maybe changing them for the better." I mean, I doubt it will change anything, but the thought of Black doing this is enough. Black is now in a very good position to create more attacks on White's weak defense. Trying to create, some sort of defense, White responds, "What could an idiot and a sassy mouth slut accomplish?" Trying to give some sort of Darth Vader and Son speech to join forces in a mistake. I'm not sure about what you think, but I don't think an idiot and a supposed sassy mouth slut can actually achieve much at all. That is, unless a bunch of accidental kids is an achievement to them. A block and a report probably is Black's card that they hold on to the end the entire game, immediately to try and scare their opponent into moving on to someone else. This is the best move, and unless White lives up to their title of being an idiot, they will resign the match and give the win to Black in their next move. However, instead of doing this, White hits back with, "Oh, so you're a sensitive bitch. You can give but not receive. Be more creative." Failing to realize that Black could not give a shit what their thoughts on this are. No matter what happens, the report and block buttons will not magically disappear, and Black has a permanent checkmate button at their disposal. To win here, White needs to play more cautiously and look normal to Black. They evidently haven't worked this out yet though. Dumbass and a blunder. Black reveals, "Okay, I'm a dominant and I'm not into men," using the only card that's more effective than the block and report one. The gay one. This card is brutal to any man and forces them to continue playing the game because it isn't quite enough to be called a checkmate. It's definitely enough to be given a brilliant move though. I respect that. I'm not into men either. I get stimulation from bad bitches with beautiful minds. I am the sadistic gentleman. White's response is borderline nonsensical as you would expect, but at least they respect Black's choice. That's enough to grade this an excellent move, but I'm still not going to. I'm giving it a cornball move because anyone who refers to themselves as the sadistic gentleman deserves to be called corny in every way, shape, and form. Black says, "Okay, bye then," waving emoji, holding their arm out for a handshake to mutually abort the game. This is the best way to make sure no players lose their elo over the mismatch and things continue as normal. Very good move. White takes the arm and replies, "Be well," peace emoji, which is very contrasting to all their other moves, but positive character development. The character development we have seen this game has been nothing short of absolute cinema, and it ends with one last great move, aborting the game. You haven't aborted this video yet though, which means you must be enjoying it, so like and subscribe for more. I have to fund all of my OnlyFans subscriptions somehow. Next, White starts with, "So you're 18 now," sliding into the DMs of a fresh adult, which is a dodgy situation, but technically illegal. I mean, it depends on if they're talking beforehand, and considering the use of the word now, it's safe to assume they have been. Yeah, White is a fucking weirdo, and this is a blunder. Black simply states, "Yup," confirming what we already know with a boring move. The best move would have been calling White a groomer, but clearly they don't have the knowledge to understand that this clearly is happening. White follows up with, "So that changes things, huh?" Smirking emoji, acting like the fact that she's legal is gonna magically make her fall in love. We're not in the Harry Potter universe, so magic has absolutely no effect on love, and White is a dumbass for thinking it does. White plays a blunder on the offense here, and they've already got their pieces set up in some extremely weak positions. It changes literally nothing, is Black's response, crushing White's hopes with just 4 soul-destroying words. Black might not have the guts to call this out being a case of grooming, but at least they have the guts to show no romantic interest in return. As far as Black knows, White is just a desperate creep who's falling back on this fresh adult for a chance at filling a hole in their life that will likely never be filled. White hits back with, "But you said you're 18 now?" with 4 question marks, and you can see the tears on his face. This dude is so egotistical and self-centered that he literally can't comprehend the idea that an 18-year-old doesn't have interest in him. That's when you know you have a problem that's beyond solving, and White plays a mistake by making this known. Black explains that it doesn't mean I'll send you nudes because I'm not a minor, which they have every right to say, and if White has any respect for women like me, they would resign. I'm 6'5" by the way, but no one ever believes me unless they meet me in person. It's a shame I don't show my face, or my height, or my hands, or anything, really. Anyway, this is a good move from Black, standing firm and doubling down on the fact that our 18th birthday changes nothing between them. Fuck you, angry emoji. I've never seen a more irrational crash out in my life, but White delivers me with one, and it's pathetic. This move automatically resigns them from the match to avoid any further embarrassment, and hopefully triggers their new year to be full of self-improvement because they need it. New Year's resolution, don't text fresh adults. Next, White uses the traditional book move of "Hey" to start our next game, which doesn't really give me much to say. Why can't people be more entertaining with their openings? E4 does get boring. Black makes a very interesting proposition in return that reads, want to make $200 to show off your ass in a thong on video chat, and 200 smackaroonies is hard money to turn away. Hell, if I got that offer, I'd find it so hard to turn down. Don't tempt me in my Discord server. Due to the fact that Black and White don't know each other at all though, I'm gonna have to grade this a mistake. It's one of the questions that you do not ask a stranger on the internet. My point is proven as White responds with, not a chance, turning down the easiest money of their life but keeping their self-respect intact. I'm not sure which is the better option, making this a good move because I'm neutral on the matter. It could have also been a scam because a random man on the internet is hardly a reliable source. Except me, I guess I am kind of like a random man on the internet to you guys, aren't I? What about to just video chat in shorts and a t-shirt? Is Black's follow-up proposition, and now White would be a dumbass to turn the money down. $200 for a video call is even easier money. You don't even need to trade off any self-respect. You're the one who gets the last laugh, the new game console, and 20 minutes of Discord call comedy. Shit sounds peak mistake. White explains helm though, smiling face, and as a businessman myself, this blunder is inexcusable. The easy task at hand isn't even unethical because the customer is a willing buyer. They literally deserve to be drained of every last penny they own. In short, White is stupid and clearly doesn't understand of how important money is yet. Any competent human would have taken Black's offer. Probably in shock as to how they got rejected, Black responds with, why? And as much as they're the creep in the situation, this is a very valid question and a great move. Nobody knows the answer to it, and we all want to hear, so props to Black for asking. White drops the reasoning we've all been waiting for by explaining, because I'm a minor, and it clearly says that in the post I made, so off you f***. Thanks, smiling face. Oh well, that's definitely a plot twist. Everything I've said so far has become invalid, but I've taken it back, so I'm not going to hell, guys, don't worry. How could I possibly have guessed White was a minor? It's not like the title of this video has the word predator in it. Anyway, White plays an excellent move by making this known. Black takes inspiration and does their own reveal, revealing I'm 7 and taking us all aback. If he's a minor too, then we're on an even playing field, but it still doesn't take away from the fact that they're on the weird side of people and shouldn't be in a girl's DMs online. As a standalone move, this is a nice parry attack and counteracts their opponent perfectly, forcing them to create a new sort of attack. Black pretty much figures out they have no way of cracking this nut and they resign the game. Better luck next time, I guess. Bro's on the anti-hustle. Next, in asterisk, White opens with tips hat and then continues outside asterisk with nice to meet you. My name is blank and I'm 15 male. Let me know if you want to talk, smiling face. Okay, we're not reading the Epstein files. Why has a screenshotter redacted their name? No, for real though, this mistake of an opening lets the opponent know straight away that you're an oddball, which is why you should avoid asterisk in your play. Black responds with hello in a book move, simply moving a pawn forward and allowing the opponent to make whatever opening they please. White follows up with hey there, and then an asterisk massages his shoulders before finishing with how are you doing, and this would be perfectly normal without the weird ass actions in the middle. Cut the stage directions and this dude would actually be a gentleman, but he's being a little too gentle with his shoulder massages. Another mistake in the opening. No is the simple yet effective response from Black, trying to send White back to the humble zone in as little words as possible with a good move. Any normal man would read this and understand the signal, but White has the confidence of me who knows I get whatever bitch I want. Unlike me though, he can't back up this confidence. Lucky for Black though, their signal actually works this time as White hits back with sorry, backs off, and I won't touch you anymore without your consent, finally deciding to do the bare minimum. The crazy thing about this move is it's literally a shot in the foot because this one text is single-handedly enough evidence for Black to get law enforcement involved. Even if nothing has happened, they said anymore, so yeah, they've cooked themselves with a blunder. After getting ignored though, they follow up with something that can only be described as dastardly. I get it, ... I'll go, slaps your ass on the way out, cool emoji. What the f? There are a lot of movies that deserve a cool emoji, but this criminal move is not one of them. Without their opponent even making a move, White goes from an apologetic and changed man to even more of a villain than they were before. We need the Avengers on this case. Law enforcement has nothing on our White player. For now, the best I can do is slash them with the banhammer. Next, you have Snapchat is White's first move, trying to move things in the most basic platform on the planet in a book move. I have a serious question though, at what age do we just stop using Snapchat? Like surely when we turn 20 or something, everybody's just gonna hit on install and get rid of all of our streaks. God knows, but we have to keep analyzing games. Black states with, I will not share my Snapchat, and it's not that serious, bro. My guy whipped out a period and everything, reading out their choices like it's a law-given right. This makes them look way too serious, which indirectly gives them the appearance of a clown. Definitely a mistake if I've ever seen one. White replies with, I'll play Plasmophobia with you, but I want to fool around too, trying to set up a date opportunity, but who knows what they meant by fool around. My guess is a good old Sims woohoo, but based on how serious Black is, I doubt they'd be down for such a fun time. Usually this would be good riz, but in the circumstances of the opponent, I'm afraid I'm going to have to call this an inaccuracy.
Black asks, "What do you mean with fool around?" And instead of typing into their innocence, they're showing that they're lost instead. I mean, hey, I respect the purity, but come on, this shit was straight up obvious, and it's a big miss for not understanding. I mean, it is a good miss, but still a miss nonetheless. What expands with, like, have snap fun in a forced move, making their real meaning known, but it wouldn't surprise me if Black still didn't understand. Honestly, White is just being weird, and their opponent doesn't even get it, so there's literally no way for them to win, and they need to resign the game at this point. It's simply not worth it. Is it? This move is a mistake, as there were so many better options. Do you mean sec? Black seeks the answer and seems more willing than I'd expect to work this shit out. I didn't know we were watching the Star Wars prequels because Black might be turning to the dark side, chat. I mean, they were destined for it with queuing as Black and all, but I had hope. Nah, for real though, this good move tries to figure out what's going on, which can't be insulted. White claims, yes, it's normal and I like doing it over Snap. Okay, buddy, it might be normal for you, but that does not make it a universal normal thing to ask strangers online to use Snapchat for weird reasons. This app is literally dominated by minors too, so if he's using it for these purposes, I have every right to be worried. Diddy 2.0 in the making right here. Blunder. Making things even weirder, Black plays, dude, you're literally on a subreddit for teenagers, delivering a checkmating style, and there's no escape for White now. Not only do they do their deed on an app that clearly targets kids, but they find their, I'm gonna call them clients, on a Reddit for teens. Get this guy behind bars immediately. Oh, and also watch the playlist on screen immediately because every video on it is literally peak. I get comments about it all the time, trust me. Don't read the comments though, most of them call me gay.